Hey guys, my name is Mark from Jazz Guitar Lessons, and today we're going to talk about how to play for others. Yeah, I know, right? Some people will say, I play guitar, I've been playing 30 years. People come to me and they're saying, my worst fear, Mark, is if someone, like my neighbor, said, oh, you play guitar, could you play me a tune? And it's like, nope, I can't do that. So let's talk about this and let's solve this once and for all. In this video, I'll give you some steps, basic preparation things, so you don't need to work on technique and practice 12 hours a day, but at least you can play finished and complete version of the tune. So let's get going. So the first step, of course, step 0 is, well, you should know which tune you want to play, or at least have a list of tunes that if you get caught by surprise, that you say, well, these 3 I'm pretty sure I can solidly comp or sing for or play a chord melody, right? So it sounds very tedious, very simple and very obvious, but I will be stating these things, stating the obvious again, right? So pick the tune. Next up, I want to cover that you need to know the elements of the tune that make up the tune. For instance, if you want to perform Summertime and all you're going to do for, say, your neighbor or your family member that asks you to play is just strum the chords, Summertime is not necessarily recognizable in that. So it is your duty to sit down and to learn, not obsess over and not refresh and not make it perfect always. You should know the song, melody, if lyrics, if there are any, if you're singing. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that. So the melody and the chords, so those are the building blocks. Furthermore, there's something I like to call the conveyor belt that you should know and hopefully memorize or have a feel for the form of the song. For instance, if you're doing a 12-bar blues, well, obviously it's 12 bars. So that's what's going to make the form of the tune recognizable. I said Summertime earlier, so Summertime and the living is easy. Da 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 da. Then the form starts over. Maybe next is for a solo or for a repeat of that melody. Who knows? It doesn't really matter, but so long as this is there, that you have the melody, the chords, and the form, then it becomes something that can be agreeable or fun to listen to for the audience. So let's jump into the meat of the matter, how to play for others. So the preparation step, after I picked the song and I know what the components of the songs are, I should create my mini arrangement. So there should be something of a plan that I have in mind, that if someone picks me and go by surprise, hey Mark, could you play that tune? That I know what I'm going to play in what order. So that would go into more of the arranging. And people say, well, Mark, I'm alone. I'm just a guitarist. I'm not arranging anything. Well, actually, you are arranging if you're going to create an intro. If you're going to decide to have a solo section, you are arranging. If you're deciding that maybe for a chorus, so say Summertime, it's 16 bars. So for the 16 bars, you're going to go chunk, chunk, Charleston, chunk, chunk. If you're doing that and you're making decisions as to how to play the tune, then it's absolutely arranging, right? No, it's not. Joe Pass said, or was it Jim Hall that said, I think of the guitar as an orchestra of 6 strings. You can do a chord melody arrangement, but also you can do a whole tune arrangement. So what I recommend when we start is to have a big overview of the arrangement. Now let's dig into the components that you can ask questions like yay or nay. Is there an introduction? If so, what is it? How long is it? What the chords are? What's the rhythm? What's the whatever? Okay. Next up, I'm going to perform the melody. Hopefully it should be the first thing I do after the introduction. Cool. Do I have a chord melody or do I want to create one? And if not, I'm going to play it single note. Am I using like a backing track like iReal Pro, or friend's going to play the chords for me, or Band in a Box, or do I have my looper set up? I'm pointing to my pedals. You can't see them, right? But the point is, I make this idea of I'm going to play the melody once through. Okay, cool. Then what comes after? What comes after typically should be a bit of chord playing. So it'd be the next step to go, well, I played the melody and I'm alone, or I played a bit of a chord melody, then I can strum a chorus to give an indication of where the form is at. There's really no shame in just comping for myself for no solo for a full chorus. Just for fun. Just going, yeah, that's it. And then if you're adventurous and you want to go the improv route, then you say, well, I'm going to improvise. Decide how long you're going to improvise before you do, and make sure that you stick to the conveyor belt, because again, that's what people can recognize. Again, this video is like how to play for an audience. So play through the form, and if you get lost in your improv, fall back on the melody. and then melody out. That's typically a big overarching structure and maybe an outro. So quick recap. I have found that I know the elements of the song. I know the chord structure, I know the melody, I can hum it. Perfect. I know the structure, so the conveyor belt is this long, 16 bars. Cool. Now I made my arrangement. I decided on an introduction, intro and outro, if any, and I decided what's going to happen within that structure and for how long. Now we're in business, you know, like we're really going to town with that kind of stuff. I love this idiom. And then what's the next step is really to experiment and say, well, I insist with my students to use this camera, this little thing. This is an iPhone, guys. This is just my regular iPhone. I have a good microphone, but it's an iPhone. Put it on. Put it on your desk, on a slant. Film. Execute your plan. Right? All right. Well, play this. And then what? Stop. Take it. Go grab a coffee or something. It's my thing. And just watch your video and go, right? Oh, you know what? I think my chord melody is 2 bars too short because I was missing this chord. Oh, I think in my solo I really got lost in the form. Okay, I think, right? And not like, oh man, I missed it. This is so bad. No, just watch it without judgment. Watch yourself. And then go, oh, I need to fix this. So what's the plan to fix this? And get back to the drawing board. You know, I'm talking as much to myself as I'm talking to you guys. It's so easy saying it, but then implementing it, I may feel ashamed or feel like, oh, it was not good enough. So I'll give you, in parting, a quick formula to put all of this together. So a question that will arise a lot with my students will say, well, I've done this on 5-10 tunes, and now one of the issues becomes one of retention. Like, all right, I'm forgetting the songs I've started to work on. So what's the formula? I love to call this the 4CE, the 4 chorus exercise. And it's just a little measuring stick to tell me how well I'm doing with the song. Here it is. I think I stated this on YouTube maybe 100 times, maybe more. So easy. 4 chorus exercise. Head in, head out. So I play the melody in, play the melody out with an intro, outro, if any. I play the comping, I play the improv. That's it. So I'm playing a song on which I know for sure I can set my eye reel to 4 choruses only, and I run through it. I'm not stopping, I'm not starting, I'm not judging, I'm not trying to play an exercise or do it better than I can. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm doing what I can. This is like an addition to myself. And if I have this on 10 songs, maybe I need to cycle back through the 10 songs maybe once or twice a week, not necessarily all on the same day, just to keep things fresh. And then when I said this is a measuring stick, what I really means is it's a good place to know what I have to work on. Because assuming I know 10 tunes, and the 9th one, I play the bridge, I'm like, what's that chord again? Like I'm missing a chord. Good, now you know what you got to work on. So the 4 chorus exercise is short and sweet, and it's just helping you to gauge, to get data on what you need to work on within the song. That's it. And I like these videos. It's more like fun. Of course, if you enjoyed this, like share it and like and subscribe. And please let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. This is more like informal. We have a gig today, so that's why you hear the hiss on my Roland. Like we're preparing, we're going to play in that coffee shop. And it just occurred to me that a lot of really good players I know are not able to play songs completely. Isn't that insane? To play for 30 years and not being able to play something? So why are we playing? So remembering that a lot of you guys are good enough to do a lot of this without rehearsing anything, without adding extra technique or learning any new scales or learning any new skills. You can already do that. It's just you haven't had the format to do it concisely and constructively to play a full tune, because that's also a skill. That's also a habit to develop. So here's my parting thoughts. Indeed, it is important to work on technique and to learn the scales and to learn the arpeggios and to learn the inversions and the new voicings and to watch whoever on YouTube show you the best scale with 3 finger, whatever. Yeah. Of course, it's important to learn your instruments and learn the music. However, I found out by doing a lot of YouTubing myself and filming videos for YouTube and emailing and teaching people that this tendency to work on technique takes over the learning of the tunes and eventually becomes, no, I gotta do all that technique now. I'm like, why? Well, because I want to get better. Yeah, you want to get better at what? At doing more technique, right? So technique has its place. There's room for it in a healthy diet, meaning I can rehearse technique, I can get better in many regards, but and I'm talking to you, talking as much to me as I'm talking to you, I'm remembering that I'm doing this for the purpose of playing tunes, and hopefully there's an audience that will listen to me. Even if the audience is me and a cat or a dog or a family member, there is an audience and there's a format in which to play songs. I think we get a pass in jazz because we just had that lead sheet, right? It's like one page and we're like, here it is, we're doing that now. This is Winter Wonderland, but it was a Christmas song. And we get a pass because, well, that's the song. It's like, no, that's a lead sheet. That's an indication. That's a cue chord or shortcut to tell us what the harmony of the melody is. My job as a jazz musician is to decide to make this into a complete performance. Now, I'm not affiliated, and I'd like to put the link in the description. I can't remember the YouTube channel name, but shout out. There's this video on YouTube by a cartoonist or someone that does like arts, like on paper, like pencil, paper, painting, whatever. And his video is finished, not perfect. So that's why I insist that my students will just take the phone, film themselves, and go, look, it's finished. You tied the bow, you wrapped it. It's not perfect, but it's as good as it will get now. Now you can go practice your technique and your skills, whatever, but at least now you got an idea of how that song works, and then you'll it's better to have one finish like that than to have 50 unfinished songs or unfinished drafts. Because whether you finish it or not, in 1 year you'll be much further, you won't be satisfied with it. So might as well finish it, have a finished product you can put a bow on, that you film yourself, you put it on YouTube, you can do YouTube unlisted, you don't have to upload it for people to see, and then you have an archive and you can walk back and look, this is where I was 6 months ago with my skills. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions about this. Please like and subscribe, and make sure to leave me a comment if this resonates, or if you have any other inquiries for lessons and topic to cover on YouTube. Alright, take care. Thank you guys. Bye.